The following is a presentation of TFNN. Live at TFNN, the Power Trading Hour, with your host, David White. Now, the author of The Path of Least Resistance and the Tech Insider, David White.
And welcome, folks, to a beautiful Monday, November 12th, 2012. Hope you had a wonderful Veterans Day yesterday. Growing up on a Air Force base during the Vietnam War, coming back, in the 70s to the States, never really knowing what it was like over here, but seeing the actual losses, seeing kids that I went to school with moving off base because their fathers no longer were around. B-52 crews, all kinds of stuff like that. You kind of really know exactly the cost of what freedom does cost. Want to thank all the veterans yesterday. Hopefully you all had a great day and remember maybe your friends from the service. Today is the birthday of Auguste Rodin. He's the sculptor who created the Thinker, the gentleman that does this. I guess if you're listening, you don't know, but it's the guy, rather muscular, sitting there with his hand on his chin, just contemplating. Most people probably know who he is if you saw the sculpture. He did two really famous ones, the Thinker and the Kiss. He was born this day in 1840. No, I don't think so. We've got, again, the peanut gallery chiming in from the engineering room, sitting on the porcelain throne. No, I don't think that you'll be invited to the Louvre anytime soon. Cretins is what we have in the engineering department, it looks like. Cretins, I say. Anyway, we've got a lot of news here today. Apple acting badly. Not only is the stock acting badly, this is about, I was going to bring this up last week, but it just keeps getting worse. They're not thinking very differently, or maybe they should. Maybe they should quit thinking differently. But more and more, as the patent wars continue on with Apple, very strange things going on. They've lost a few lawsuits, one in England, and now the judge is getting downright nasty with Apple. They were supposed to put a little sign up on their website saying that Apple did not infringe on our patents, and they didn't copy us even though that's what Apple said. So they put the snarky kind of retort on it, along with some disinformation about Samsung being just scatological stuff. Of course, the judge came back and said, you guys are being some real tools, so I want you to do that again, and this time you better mean it, and I better feel like you mean it. Well, Apple did a second half-hearted attempt, and the judge was actually putting on exactly what type font it had to be before page 5 in the newspaper, basically taking them to task, and of course they managed to botch that again. The judge has now said that Samsung's legal fees have to be paid by Apple. They're going to contest that again too, I just don't understand it. You don't go around making enemies of judges. They read the newspaper too. You may not meet them then, but maybe you'll meet them over here in the United States, or in maybe Germany, or maybe in the Asian area. They don't like cotton to being treated with disrespect, if that's even a word, no respect. It discontinues day by day, drip by drip. Of course, they've got a big problem coming on where they wouldn't even admit to knowing that the head juror over here in the case that was settled a few months back that everybody thought was such a big deal actually had his own lawsuits for patents going on. He was guiding the jury, kind of a runaway jury kind of thing, and it just goes on and on. But anyway, Apple was compelled to tell the opposing team exactly when they found out that this juror was a jackass, and didn't find out, won't tell them. So now I think they're meeting on the next date is like the 5th of December, in which case the judge is probably going to come down on Apple with a ton of bricks. They've been, I just don't understand. You don't go in there and antagonize the judge, and that's exactly what they're doing everywhere. So if anybody can explain this to me, you can always give me a call at 877-927-6648. Maybe this is the sore loser part of it. Kind of was just working all weekend, but tuned across the TV waves to see at a fight a race broke out yesterday. I don't know if anybody saw that. A brawl at the racetrack. I don't even know where that was. Oh, it was in Phoenix for NASCAR. But I don't know. It just seems like everybody's kind of gone nuts lately. A little bit more news. Apple is not acting all that great. But what do we have out here? It's off $2. This thing is most likely headed back down to $4.22, I suspect, maybe on Wednesday. Then maybe you get some kind of bounce or something out of it here. But it's still looking rather poorly in this, and we'll be talking a bit more about how some of this stuff works. But they're leaking a little, or it's been leaked that there's going to be an iPhone 5S, and probably the only difference is it's going to be easier to assemble. Maybe not a whole lot of new parts, maybe a updated processor or something like that. But they're probably not going to push all the differences, but it's going to be a slightly different model. Maybe that'll cause sales to withdraw a little bit. But the manufacturing processes are being poor. Of course, they antagonized Samsung, and Samsung basically stuck it to them over the last few days, saying if you want processors that we're making, even though you ARM's basically designed them, Apple modified them, Samsung was supposed to build them for them. Basically, Samsung said, hey, our cost is going up. We want 20% more for the processor in that iPhone 5. So maybe there's a different processor from a different manufacturer coming in the 5S, but it just is beyond me what's going on there. They're kind of doing everything they can to self-destruct. I think it was on Friday or Saturday, news came out that they did settle one lawsuit with HTC, and cross-licensing, 10 years on that pact, so they kicked that can down the road. But it may be the sign that Apple's finally given up on thinking that these patents are not what they are. People that have never been into patent lawsuits, they dragged our company, Patent Troll dragged our company through 5 years of what's something obvious. But even Apple is continuing doing this just insane, stupid stuff. Last week they got another patent issued for round corners. I'm looking at every piece of furniture in this place. Well, that stand doesn't have any. But there's got to be a round corner on everything. This table's round. I mean, having mitered corners probably goes back 2,000 years. That they could actually patent a rectangle with radius corners is beyond me. But they continue to kind of use this as a hammer when a scalpel would have probably worked well. You can't get people not to make stuff if you've got a patent. What you can do is make them give you a royalty for each one, and normally a judge will approve if you're being a giant pain in the rear end on it. It keeps on getting weirder and weirder. I think it was a week ago on Friday, Tom and I were discussing about a lot of the bloodletting going on at Apple's management. Forrestal was kicked out. Now, I think maybe I might have been a lot closer to right than I thought at the time. There's a lot of articles coming out that there was only one legitimate successor to Jobs, and that was Forrestal. They called him Mini Jobs inside Apple. May have had the same kind of problems with Asperger's that everybody else, like Dr. House and Steve Jobs actually had. But it's kind of hard to see. But I don't know. There's something really weird going on inside that company. And I had a thought. Maybe this is the Beatles. Maybe this just is, you had a band, they worked very well together, and as soon as one person changed or left, that was it. You know, they could make perfect music even though they all hated each other. But as soon as that miserable Yoko Ono showed up, that was it. Oh, I guess I have to tell my best Yoko Ono joke. Yes. And this goes back to the 80s. Unfortunately, I've already given a little bit of it away, but what do Yoko Ono and Ethiopians have in common? They both live off dead Beatles. That's my favorite joke maybe of all time, actually. But anyway, just a thought out there. This chart's been going around, so I'm going to show it here in Tiger TV. You can check out McClellan's website, or just do RCA Apple chart in Google and find it. But it's a pretty interesting chart when you look at it. It's got Apple's chart and RCA's chart from 1925 to 1932, and it's scary in just how good this thing is about being almost identical to the chart that RCA had. Of course, RCA had just tons and tons of patents for radio, and kind of the Apple of its time. Certainly a whole lot less stocks. I think probably 1925 there was probably maybe 400 stocks you could invest in totally on the New York Stock Exchange. But hopefully everybody's seeing on this on Tiger TV. Like I said, if not, if you're just listening, just Google Apple RCA charts and maybe McClellan, and you'll find this chart pop up. Pretty ominous, actually, and I'm not exactly predicting the end of Apple as badly as this chart does. But very scary, children, very scary. Beazer Homes came out with numbers today, down on huge volume. It was at 15% earlier today. I did this chart a couple hours ago, so volume's probably even higher when we look at it. But it's already gone through its 618 retracement and 68, yeah, 68, 382 and 618. And looks like it was probably going to head back down to that $11 mark. There is the last major low out here at $10.90, but kind of surprising. The entire homes sector is weak on that news today. Titanium Metals Corporation. I've been wanting to play this one for a long time. I was hoping to get down to 1042 on lighter volume again. But this thing's took off again. This chart's probably a couple hours old. I was doing it about noon. But they are being bought out. Symbol is TIE, Titanium Metals Corporation. Big winner out here, up about 42, 44%, something like that. But that's all she wrote, folks. It's back to the highs of December of last year. We will be back in a minute. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648, 877-927-6648.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of Tiger TV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With Tiger TV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Daryl Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on Tiger TV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out Tiger TV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investment strategy. You're always looking for the next trading opportunity to magnify your perspective. Direction Shares connects sophisticated traders with a powerful array of ETFs from a wide range of asset classes. The markets may go up and down, and you want tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction Shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction Shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
Millionaires are made every day. The fact is, living your dreams is possible. Someone, somewhere is going to get rich. My recommendation is, let that be you. Each day, someone is making the decision to better themselves and creating a plan to fulfill their financial dreams. Let that be you. The key to turning dreams into reality is to take massive action. Let that be you. I'm Steve Rhodes, co-host of the Money Master Show with Tom O'Brien, seen daily at TFNN, and I can help you with your journey to great wealth. I'll show you how to create the ultimate financial edge, a set of tools, insights, and strategies that are part of my daily newsletter service, Mastering Probability. You'll have direct access to me by phone, email, and my private library of trading and investing secrets for 30 days with an unconditional money-back guarantee. I'll take your trading to the next level. Click on my name, Steve Rhodes, on the homepage at TFNN.com and turn your dreams into reality. Mastering Probability, folks. Let that be you.
This segment is brought to you by Goldfields. For more information, just click the Goldfields banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
As we come back, we're going to try to finish up some news out here. Again, you can give me a call at 877-927-6648. Market's not doing a whole lot today. It's tried to go down a little bit. It's tried to go up a little bit. It's back up a few points. 3 points, 4 points. Here's the big problem. You don't want this thing to close higher today. You'd like this thing to close lower and then try to go higher maybe tomorrow, because the volume is very poor. 1.7 billion shares so far today. So let's say it's 2:30. That leaves an hour and a half. You can say about 2.7 billion shares at the end of the day. That's going to be extremely poor. We are in options expiration week. We're going to talk about that a little bit. RIM may have a little movement out here. The stock is dead. It just doesn't know it. Anything, it's got over, I think, a 25% short interest rate, or short interest right now. So any kind of positive news that makes them think that it's going to last a few more days before it dies, even if it's 2 years from now, continues to be an issue with this thing. Research in Motion sets a January 30th date for the BlackBerry 10 launch. It won't matter. But it's enough to keep the people thinking that maybe they'll eventually get their money out of this dog and buy a fallen angel. Interesting. Spotify, just got another round of financing. They had been valued as much as $4 billion, but after the debacle with Facebook, about $3 billion is what that financing is set up to price the audio streamer out as. It is my favorite audio streamer. It looks to me like this is the last round of financing. Look for them to go public within the next 12 months. India has launched a new version of its ultra-low-cost tablet computer with a quicker processor and improved battery life, and it's on sale to students at the subsidized price of $20. Now, great, this isn't, it's a 6-inch tablet. It doesn't have much. I don't think any speakers, only a headphone jack. But $20, not a bad deal. And, when you got as many people as you have in India, kind of a big deal. But these things, I think actually parts and manufacturing is about $80-85 on these things. If you live in a country you're trying to get going on, probably not a bad deal, but that's the bottom end of this market when you start looking at maybe some of the problems that some of the other stocks having out there. If you missed it, the Greek stock market this morning was off fairly badly. It was off over 4% around 10 o'clock this morning. Bank stocks were down over 10%, and just continue to see nothing but ruins. I went there and everything was all torn up and falling apart. I don't understand all about it, but I guess that's all about being in Greece. The IEA came out today and said that by 2013 we'll all be but self-sufficient in terms for oil production, shale gas, bioenergy, and with improved fuel efficiencies in transports. But old JR is probably having his day now. He's always wanted to drill, baby drill. But we'll call. Chris in San Antonio. How you doing today, Chris?
Doing good, David. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Hey, I just want to let you know that the big boot is still here.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Were you the same guy I talked to before, or another one?
Yeah. You had called. I'd called you before, and you asked about the big boot.
So okay, just wanted to make sure it's still there.
Okay, but about a year ago, you had brought up graphene as a product that's going to the future, and I was wondering what kind of companies would you recommend for graphene?
Well, right now it's what you're doing with graphene. IBM's been able to make a chip that operates about 20 times faster than Intel can. Of course, they have a big buyer. That's the NSA. These things are actually put in satellites to look into ground and can penetrate, depending on who you listen to, 50 to 100 feet under the surface. Look for things like hidden nuclear factories, stuff like that in Iran. So they're already, those companies are already making money. It's what you do with it, probably not making graphene, but how you're going to use it, because it's incredibly simple to make. It is the application of that. You want to hang on through the break?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. It's the applications of it. It's just like any kind of, what would you call it? Material. But anyway, we'll come back. We'll talk with Chris and talk about more about graphene.
You've heard Tom O'Brien on the air, and you've seen him on Tiger TV, as well as being featured as a regular CNBC guest and contributor, and now you can have access to his expert trading advice each morning through his daily trading newsletter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, gives traders, investors, and money managers a thorough strategy for trading stocks, options, and indices every market day. Market Insights comes out each market day before 9:30 a.m. and provides provides traders with Tom's daily commentary, opinion, and specific trade recommendations on the markets. Using advanced Fibonacci methods, volume indicators, Gartley patterns, candlestick charting, gaps, and market timing, Market Insights will give you specific trade recommendations including entry, stop, and exit prices. The summer is over and traders are back. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. If you're an investor looking for a great weekly investment newsletter, then now is the perfect time to try out Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks. Every Tuesday, Ken breaks down multiple sectors in his weekly newsletter, Ultimate Growth Stocks, with a full in-depth report including specific trading recommendations within his model portfolio, charts, sector analysis, upcoming economic data, along with intra-week trading updates on newsletter positions whenever the market dictates. Right now, you can receive a full month, that's 30 days, to evaluate Ken's newsletter free of charge to see if it fits your trading plan. At less than $75 per month, Ken provides you with his expert trading advice that can pay for itself in no time. Take advantage of this great offer by signing up for a 30-day free trial to Ken Shreve's Ultimate Growth Stocks today. Don't let this offer pass you by. Visit the front page of TFNN.com and sign up now. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Crocodile Gold. For more information, just click the Crocodile Gold banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And as we come back, we're talking with Chris from San Antonio, where my mother bored me. Are you still there, Chris?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I'm showing on Tiger TV. Graphing, for those that don't know, is a form of carbon. And if you want to think about it just like that hexagonal chicken wire that you see around chicken coops, that's exactly what it is. But it's one of the only one-dimensional, or excuse me, two-dimensional, not three-dimensional elements out there that will actually set up that, just like individual one-atom thick sheets of carbon. And why is that so important? It is because when you put electricity through it, instead of bouncing around like a Minnesota Fats pool ball all over, bouncing everywhere, it is a straight shot right into the pocket. by doing that, electrical signals can move vastly much faster. There's a whole lot less resistance, less heat. This is going to be the key, and technologies like this are going to be the key to electronics in the future. So you ask the people that I know of already that are making products with it is IBM. They've got terahertz transistors already. Those are being used in space satellites and that the kind of thing, that little small thing that looks like the space shuttle that they've sent up for 6 months at a time. There are new satellites using this kind of technology already available, and IBM shows technology demonstrations every once in a while. My guess is this stuff is a lot farther along, but we will not see it because of its uses in NSA. But right now, Samsung's put $1 billion into a plant to start making flexible displays with it. That's probably the next thing. That plant's already in operation, but they're so busy making displays now for tablets and phones that it's not really getting much play out there. But actually, some of these surfaces are already using graphene technology in the surfaces. As a harder thing than, let's say, Gorilla Glass. So I think we're very early in the cycle so far. You're just going to have to, well, the easiest thing would be to subscribe to my Tech Insider newsletter. But it is probably, this is a 2 to 5 year thing. But there are a few things out there that are going to be the next biggest thing. And let's say Intel gets this. Another company gets it and really understands how to make integrated circuits with it, gets the process down. They're going to be able to make chips, so much faster on so much less power that they are going to be the next big winners in this technology. Of course, they'll be able to patent it first too. So
really, the companies that are making the graphene aren't the ones to buy, then, right?
No. It's kind of like saying you want to buy companies out there digging silicon out of the ground and picking up sand out there to make silicon wafers with. The money's in actually developing some of the processes. Click and Clack are probably going to be plays on this because they'll be selling the fabs that build these chips, this kind of technology. But again, I haven't seen anything that really comes out. Applied Materials will be another one. So there's several of those companies, but they're going to be late stage. It's going to be the first company that really makes something really cool on it. I think the coolest thing right now is the IBM thing. The second thing is going to be flexible displays. Samsung seems to be years ahead of anybody else on that right now. So you could watch them, although I don't think it's ever going to, even if they sell a ton of stuff, it's never going to move their stock price enough to me being one in it. But, somebody that maybe uses their technology for something cool could be very, very neat. It's got to be some of those things that everybody is just keeping, got to keep your ear to the floor. But this stuff, there's no doubt about it. I'm on some of the... do you know what RSS feeds are?
No.
Okay. It's kind of like being on an email list. If you just Google RSS feeds, you can get on the Graphene. There's a couple of Graphene lists, and they show all the papers and technology coming out. There's also a Graphene magazine, I think. So there are a few things you can do, but I watch them pretty much every day and read the papers. A lot of this stuff right now is just coming out of the college sector, where these guys are basically writing papers every spring. They normally come out in May of all the different properties, how you can change the properties, how you could potentially dope it to make transistors, all the things that go into just figuring out what this stuff is and how to work with it. But it is the material for the next 30 years and is going to make if you could actually get chips with this right now at the same speed, your phone could last maybe 100 hours in talk time. Your laptop could last a month at full. Your laptop could last a full month running all the time. I mean, this stuff is going to be hoopy cool when it does come out. So, but it's not all going to come out at once. But those are some plays to watch when that stuff really starts flying. Click Clack, Applied Materials, and the companies that design it. My guess is that Intel, IBM, the big guys are probably going to be the first to exploit it, though.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks a lot, David.
You bet.
Appreciate it.
There we have. I got some audio back in my headsets there. Tesla is getting sued by car dealers in New York and Massachusetts. There's an old law that goes back 70 years or so about dealerships being owned by manufacturers. Never understood why that was. Makes it very hard for a new auto manufacturer to come out. Didn't seem to be bothering Tesla that much today. In fact, I probably ought to check again out here and see if anything's going on with it. Give me just a second. TSLA, it's up 70 cents actually. Of course, they've been doing a little bit better. They finally got their manufacturing up. Doesn't seem to be bothering them today. But I guess if you're going to buy an $80,000 electric car that goes 220 miles an hour between charges, probably not a big deal. Now, these things are rocket ships. If you've ever been in one of these or the Fisker Karma, these things are 3.5 seconds to 60 miles an hour. They are not going to go real far, but electric engines are not bad if you like a pocket rocket. And these things, are, from all indications, fairly well built. But again, being able to have to put $20,000 with the new batteries in it in 4 or 5 years, with an expensive car already to boot, just beckons the question of whether or not they can ever make it through the initial hump to start making electric cars. And will Ford, Chrysler, and General Motors just beat them down once they've gotten a toehold in, or are they looking to be bought out? That's the real question. Other things, Ballmer came out and dropped a Baby Ruth in the punch bowl over the weekend for Microsoft by saying that don't expect a whole lot from the Surface RT tablets. I think the biggest problem they have is exactly the same problem that that Apple has, and that is production problems. I think the wait time is still 2-3 weeks for the Microsoft RT tablets, and Steve Ballmer is really saying what you really are looking for, and the big to-do is going to be for the Surface Pros, which is going to be able to run all Microsoft software from Windows 7 and Vista, that's pretty much the way I look at it. Microsoft's going for the high end in business. Apple's going to be going after the mid part of the market, and school and educationals. Not having the ability to do real-time encryption makes Microsoft pretty much the logical bet for where that's going to go. And especially when you get, I'm thinking we're going to see something out of Apple with a little bit of that built in to make the security requirements for going into medical. But Microsoft's kind of bypassed that. It's going right after the high end of business finance out there that needs to legally require at least a certain level of encryption, being able to do all this stuff, and Microsoft gets them to that goal very quickly, and there's a huge amount of software out there that's going to run on that tablet. Basically, pretty much the same thing, just ramped up with a lot more memory and a faster processor. Unclear exactly when this thing's going to come out, but the thought is that the Surface Pro will be out in probably January or February. IPOs this week, we've got Energy and Exploration Partners. Again, only about 50% of these are going through. We had 3 big misses last week that didn't get out the door. Its symbol is going to be ENXP, and it is an early stage oil and gas company. Unconventional Resources plans to raise $236 million. Not a big deal. Radius Healthcare, probably the only one out here. It's been a decent market. RDUS is going to be the symbol. Biotech developing treatments to restore bone loss from osteoporosis. Plans to raise $62 million. That's the big problem, is it's too small. Ruckus Wireless, RKUS, provides carrier-class Wi-Fi systems to Telecom Enterprise. $98 million, again, tiny. And Silvercrest Asset Management Group, SAMG, is an investment company with $11 billion in high net worth individuals, plans to raise $55 million. Again, all these things pretty tiny out here, just trying to get themselves in the market so they can do what? Do I hear you out there? Yes, distribute stock. That is the purpose of Wall Street, to finance. I'm starting to get the idea that I'm a comedian. But all these tiny ones are just all sliver deals. I think they're going to, when you have to come out and give such a small part of the company out there to get your toe in the door of being a public company, most of these, I'm going to say, haven't varied since the IPOs that came out, all of which of them are auguring in to the financial wasteland, like Zynga, Groupon, a lot of these others. I don't see anything in a lot of those that, maybe 1 out of 4 of them might be something one day. The UK legislators are going after Amazon, Google, and Starbucks. They're going to drag the people up there, kind of like they do in our congressional investigations in the UK. But they've been using legal ways to make sure that they don't pay a whole lot of taxes in Europe. And I think our elections have given them the go-ahead to basically pound these people into submission and give them money whether they deserve it or not. And maybe that's the prevailing wind out here, is the equal distribution of misery. But, it's kind of sad. I think the technology sector is going down anyway, at least on 2 of those stocks. But it's sad to see that our government is hurting our companies as much as they can by giving everybody kind of bad ideas, even though it plays to a populist rhetoric here in the United States. But look for this to get a lot uglier here in the next 4 to 6 weeks. One of the things I did want to talk about and get to, and we got about a minute here, so I am going to just get started on this if I can. During expiration weeks before, we've talked about the original people that came out with this called it Max Pain. And that is I'm going to have to make some big changes here in the text size because no one's going to be able to read this, including me. Looks good on my monitor at home, but at 4 feet, even on this 24-inch monitor, I'm not going to be able to read it. But you can actually see these. I wonder how I'm going to do that. I'm going to have to juice the thing up when I get home. But we'll be working on these in the next few days out here. But what these are the curves, you should be able to see it fairly decently, of where options are saying that a stock will expire on Friday. 85% of options go unexpired for the most part. And if you look at that, they're going to come around pretty much to do that, have to come somewhere around the center point of where the most money will be lost. What we see is, a little higher prices out here, but I'll try to, I was going to get into this today, but maybe we need to get into it tomorrow when I make these fonts a little bigger and people can actually see. What happens is when these are way far away from the actual price of the stock, the market becomes a lot more unpredictable. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to tfnn.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
In just December of last year, the price of gold was down over 10%. In today's highly volatile gold market, you need someone in your corner that understands the complex relationships that exist within the price of gold, as well as within a variety of gold equities. Whether it's the South African gold miners and knowing how the Rand-dollar relationship will affect their bottom line, or understanding how John Paulson's $5 billion trade in the GLD can move the market, Tom O'Brien gives you the direction you need to become a better trader each week in his newsletter, The Gold Report. With over 20 individual equities covered and almost another 20 on the potential watch list each week, in addition to covering the XAU, HUI, GLD, and dollar, The Gold Report is a great source for any trader that is looking to be diversified in today's volatile gold market. For your 30-day free trial to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report, log on to tfnn.com today. Don't miss out on this great offer. Act now. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to tfnn.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Let me tell you something, folks. I have people coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.
This segment is brought to you by TFNN. Test drive all the newsletters for free at tfnn.com.
Well, I'm going to set up what I'm going to talk about tomorrow today because I've got about 5 minutes left here. But I wrote an article about 2004 about using options to predict where stocks will expire on expiration day. Options are set up very much like pari-mutuel wagering. We'll say like at a horse track. The idea is that the money is all divided up at a horse track, and they basically cut off about 15%, and that's what goes to the track. The rest of the money is divided up inside the players. So the house is always getting a cut. Do they always make 15%? No. But that those numbers come so close to what options actually do is quite interesting. But what you can see is a lot of times, I don't know, it was, I think the last option expiration when Apple was at 100 or at 700, I wrote in my newsletter that Apple was going to expire on that Friday at exactly $700, and I think it expired at $700.25. A lot of times you'll have a lot of options at a single strike price, maybe some on either side of that. But the most amount of money to be lost, if you could push it up $5 or $10 either way, is always going to be on those big numbers like $700, maybe $750, $650, $600. And a lot of times when you get in there is a huge tendency for the option market makers to push it that way. Basically, when Apple expired it right at $700 on that day, they were able to keep about $200 million worth of option money, where if it would have gone up or down about $5 either way, would have been a big payday for some people on either side. By being able to bury it that way, you know, if you're an option market maker, maybe you work for Goldman Sachs, they have all the money they need to maybe manipulate a stock for a day or two. They suck the money out the Monday after, and you know, basically they get to keep a lot of that coin. That is their job out there. And a lot of times people will say the game is rigged. You just have to know it. But normally options are bought as an insurance policy. That means that mostly there's always a little bit more puts than calls bought. But you know, it's one of those things that can be predictive. One thing that happens, let me go ahead and close this so I can see how much time I have left. Got about a minute. Is that it becomes incredibly apparent when markets are out of kilter. And I'm going to tell you that they are right now. When you have options pointing to expiration at $620 for Apple, and you have a price of $540, those are kind of markets that are never going to come back in. And for a good part, maybe we've got a big broker-dealer out there pushing it down that bought a lot of puts a while ago. But at a certain point, you can see that just like an avalanche coming, it is probable. Maybe you had wet snow one day and dry, powdery snow the next. If you live up in Colorado, probably very familiar with avalanche warnings. The way that the different snows are put together creates a way for snow on top to literally kind of ski over the snow below, start the avalanche, and then that happens. We've kind of saw that to a small extent. But there's two things that make me very scared here. That is the low VIX, and again, the huge pullout this morning, like there is absolutely no chance that anything bad could happen with fiscal cliff, with Greece, anything else. It reminds me of somebody whistling past the graveyard. We're going to get into a little bit more of these expiration charts tomorrow. I'm going to make the fonts a little bit bigger so they're readable for our Tiger TV viewers out here. But we'll be getting into some of those next, well, probably tomorrow. Anyway, you have a great and safe day. Hang on. Ken Shreves, Tom O'Brien tonight. You all have a safe and wonderful day.